Every few years, in the neighborhood where I work, there's a rash of racist graffiti. I have no idea who's behind this, or why, like an intestinal parasite, they go through a dormant phase before coming back. Admittedly, this analogy is unfair to intestinal parasites, which I'm sure serve some useful purpose in the great scheme of things. So those of you who keep tapeworms or flukes as pets, and are offended by my analogy, please feel free to insert some more loathsome animal, for instance, ferrets. The graffiti always takes the same form, containing the standard number of epithets. Once, though, there were several signs up issuing a so-called warning to white people, saying that we were in danger of extinction. I was a little thrown by this, partly because I think a bigger concern would be the potential extinction of human beings, regardless of color. I'm also not entirely sure that, according to the people behind this graffiti, I'm white. Now, I know what you're thinking. All you have to do is look at me, right? But even if races were as easily divisible as, say, dog breeds, white people would probably be the terrier group. As for me, I'd be kept out of the dog show because, like many North Americans, I'm a mutt. These signs were decorated with swastikas, and if I remember my history correctly, the Nazis didn't like Slavs, despite the Celtic origins of the Slavic people. Or maybe because of it. Anyway, I'm half Czech, a Slavic group. This used to have its advantages. I could get on a trampoline and say I was a bounced Czech, and I thought, when I die, I'll be a cancelled Czech. Only now, people pay for everything online or with plastic, but that's another story. On the other side, I'm Scottish, a Celtic group. I've also got a fraction of Cherokee, and if the Celts and Slavs are out, Native Americans haven't got a chance. And since I haven't really traced my genealogy back more than a few generations, there's really no telling what other groups I'm descended from. Never mind that we're all from a common ancestry anyway. So while my skin may be pale, am I really white, according to these covert propagandists? Of course it doesn't matter, because I'm not buying what they're selling. I believe in tolerance, and although opportunities don't come my way often, I try to be a peacemaker whenever I can. For instance, I met a Scottish guy in a bar one night, and told him I was related to the Murray clan. I know you're saying, Waldrop, Murray, what's the relationship? It's on my paternal grandmother's side. The Scottish guy said, I'm a Campbell. The Murrays and the Campbells are bitter enemies. Technically that's true, but the Campbells were bitter enemies of just about everybody. I could have told him my last name was Glenfiddich, and he would have been just as correct to say, the Glenfiddichs and Campbells are bitter enemies. Sensing an opportunity, I bought him a drink and suggested we shake hands. As representatives of two peoples who had caused each other so much bloodshed, I said, we should declare peace and take pride in being both Scottish. Well, sort of Scottish, on my side, or at least close enough. We sealed the deal with a couple of pints of Guinness, which I hope also settled any lingering animosity between the Campbells, the Murrays, and the entire country of Ireland. Yes, it was an entirely symbolic and meaningless act, but I realize that it's easier to hate an abstraction than an individual. That simple handshake and shared drinks could have been the foundation for a peace movement that would eventually win us a Nobel Peace Prize, and the prize money for that alone could have bought drinks for everyone in the bar. Unfortunately, we were so giddy over our newfound peace and understanding, we decided to go out and beat up some Belgians.